Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome back. I hope your day is off to a fantastic start. Let's review another perfume. Up today, I have Clean Reserve Skin. In full disclosure, anytime that anything is sent to me here on my channel and I feature it, I am always upfront about the fact that something may have been sent to me. So Clean Reserve actually did reach out to me via email and asked if I was interested in reviewing another one of their fragrances. I actually think they came across my channel because I reviewed their Sparkling Sugar as well as their Radiant Nectar this past spring. I picked both of those fragrances up from my local Sephora and honestly fell in love, especially with the Sparkling Sugar throughout the spring and summer. If you are looking for a sweet, almost candy-like fragrance and you like those type of scents year-round, you have to check out Sparkling Sugar. It is absolutely stunning, and I can tell you that I received a multitude of compliments regarding that fragrance specifically this summer. People absolutely love it, and if you are a lover of sweeter fragrances, you have to check that one out. But when Clean Reserve asked if I was interested in reviewing one of their other fragrances, I said absolutely. I definitely enjoyed the other two, so I would be willing to share my thoughts on another fragrance. So they opted to send me Skin, which is, I feel like, one of the staples in their line. This particular type of scent is very much like the name implies. It is more of a skin-like fragrance. And because of that, it's a little bit different from both the Sparkling Sugar as well as the Radiant Nectar, in that I feel like both of those have pretty darn good projection. You have to be a little bit mindful about how much you apply of both of those fragrances. Whereas with a scent like this, I feel like it's almost hard to overdo it. This is the type of fragrance that invites people to come in a little bit closer before they really kind of realize what type of perfume you're wearing. I do think that despite the fact that I tend to love the more like forward, heavier projection type fragrances, I think fragrances like this also have a place in my collection because I do have certain friends and family who we spend time with occasionally where I know that they are a little bit more sensitive to fragrances. So I either opt to wear nothing in the case of some family members when we visit them, but in the case of other family members, I know they are a little bit more tolerant of perfumes. And so I will opt to wear something like this, where it's not offensive. This type of scent does not enter the room before I do, but it allows me to enjoy wearing a perfume because that is just, it's a part of my daily ritual. I love getting up in the morning, getting ready, looking through my perfume collection and finding just the perfect scent to pair with my mood that day. This is the type of fragrance that I think is great for days when you're just like, I just don't know what to wear, but I know I want something soft. I know I want something pretty. This is easy to grab and just absolutely lovely. So a big thank you to Clean Reserve for sending this one out. I definitely appreciate it, and I have been using this fragrance for the last couple weeks pretty heavily. I have worn it both by itself as well as pairing it with other fragrances because Clean Reserve actually encourages you to use this one to tweak some of your other fragrances. So before we get into my thoughts and, you know, talking about the strength of this, the projection, all of that fun stuff, I want to read you guys a little bit about this fragrance. And to do that, I'm just going to pull the information from the Sephora website. I will have this linked below for you in the description box. So if you are interested in purchasing this or reading up a little bit more about the fragrance, you can do that with the information down below. Okay. So this particular fragrance falls into the warm and spicy fragrance family with Clean Reserve. They call this a warm and sheer fragrance type. The keynotes here are fresh musk, copaiba oil. We'll talk about that here in a second because that was actually not familiar to me at all, as well as salted praline. The description of this fragrance reads as follows. This is the signature scent you've been looking for. Creamy Madagascar vanilla offers a soft and subtle sweetness to the cozy, close to the skin musk, creating the perfect everyday perfume. Wear this scent alone or layer with other Clean Reserve perfumes to add warmth and a kiss of sweetness. So let's just read up about what copaiba oil is. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that correctly. So this is actually also often used as an essential oil. It's used in incense, but the fragrance description of copaiba oil reads sweet, almost honeyed, balsamic, and peppery. Copaiba oil is often used in incense. It's derived from a tree in Central and South America and acts as a base note and fixative. So that is what copaiba oil is. For me, it wasn't super familiar, so I am certainly enjoying it in this particular formula here. So I will be keeping an eye out for copaiba oil in other fragrances as well going forward. And I have to admit, in terms of these fragrance notes of the fresh musk, the copaiba oil, and the salted praline, the first thing that actually hits me about this fragrance is a really soft, white, almost clean musk type note. It's not a heavy musk at all. Just very pretty and soft. I feel like this is definitely a fragrance that I would classify as a little bit more feminine. But I also think that I think this could be worn by pretty much everybody. If you're looking for something softer and slightly prettier, and if you are a man who also enjoys wearing fragrance, I think this is one that you might really also enjoy. It's just so lovely, but it's that musk that really hits me first. In terms of that copaiba oil, it's that balsamic like description that really kind of got me. I don't want to imply that this smells like a balsamic vinegar or anything like that, but it has that same type of almost maybe slight, I don't think the word I'm looking for is astringent, but there's that same type of note that you get when you stick your nose into a really lovely high-end balsamic vinegar. I feel like I'm getting a touch of that in here, and I like it so much. This one pairs really well with my body chemistry for sure. And in terms of that salted praline, there is a touch of saltiness in here, but I don't really smell praline. There's not much that comes across in the way of nuttiness to my nose at all, but I do get a little bit of like a saltiness, almost like a beachy air type vibe in a way. But it's not a beachy scent. Like, I don't want to imply that. But I think it brings in some freshness. But overall, there is just a smooth, creamy vanilla base to this that is absolutely heavenly. And that is what I think makes this fragrance really special, is that the vanilla is at the base of all of it. And it takes a lot of those like other notes and just tones them down ever so slightly and just makes everything a little bit softer and a little bit prettier smelling. And I love it. Oh man, this is so good, you guys. This is really, really lovely. Now, the one complaint that I do have is that I think there might be a problem with the sprayer on this one. I'll show you here in a second. These sprayers on both my Sparkling Sugar as well as my Radiant Nectar leave a nice like mist of fragrance that comes out of them. This is more of like a splat, which I do not like at all. And I have to be very careful when spraying this one. So I'm just gonna show you guys. Do you see how that just kind of shoots out and it just leaves like a big, can you, oh shoot, the light isn't catching it. But there's honestly just like a big splat of fragrance. I can feel it like running around my arm right now. I feel like this is one where I do have to do like the dab, whereas with the other two fragrances that I mentioned, I can do a mist and I'm good to go. It just kind of quickly gets absorbed into my skin and I'm good to go. This one, I do think that I have to follow through with the dab just so that I'm not having this fragrance like running down my arm. So I think there might be a faulty sprayer on this one because the other two do not have that problem. Now, In terms of the overall like strength and projection of this one, this is not the type of scent, just in its like composition, that I think is the type of fragrance that enters the room before you do. This is one of those fragrances that invite people to come just a little bit closer to you before they really start to smell the perfume on you, which is why I think this is such a great option if you have either friends or family that are a little bit more sensitive to fragrance. If you want to be a little bit more respectful of that, this is the type of scent that I would opt to wear on the occasions where I get together with those people. But it's lovely. Like, I don't want to imply that, you know, like this isn't noticeable on you, but it is not one of those fragrances where you can really overdo it. I feel like I've sprayed quite a bit of this onto my skin and it never smelled like I was covered in perfume. It just smelled very pretty, still very soft, noticeable, but not like headache inducing for other people at all. So if you tend to be a little bit more heavy handed, I think a fragrance like this is nice because it's gonna be hard for you to overdo it with this one. Where I think this particular fragrance actually really excels at is in blending with other perfumes. Now, I have definitely tried it with sparkling sugar. It's a fabulous combination with sparkling sugar. If you want to tone down just a little bit of the sweetness and add a little bit more of a musky type vibe to sparkling sugar, mix Skin with it. I also think this tones down a little bit of that. I feel like it's kind of an aggressive like peach pear combination in the Radiant Nectar. This tones that down just ever so slightly and makes that maybe a little bit more palatable for some. I think this is a wonderful blender scent. I have also paired this with Penrose Secret Genius. That was lovely together. Again, they both have a vanilla base to them, so great combination there. I've also paired it with Silver Moon from Pacifica. I've basically gone through and paired this with a lot of my favorite vanilla type scents, and it just was fabulous with every single one of those. So if you are looking for a fragrance that can help you transform, maybe lighten up or slightly change the composition of some of your other fragrances, maybe you want to tone down a little bit of a like amber type note or a little bit of a patchouli type note, I think a fragrance like this would be a wonderful way to do it for sure. Overall, this one really gets a big fat thumbs up for me. It was not one that was necessarily on my radar, but when I found out that they had sent this one, I was like, oh, cool. Like, you know, I have kind of heard a little bit about it out there in the fragrance world, but not a ton. I think this one is kind of underrated, and I really think it's a great item to have in your collection if you are a perfume lover in general. And if you're looking to try something new, but you don't have the budget for a new perfume, getting a mini in something like this and using this to alter some of your other fragrances, I think is a great way to kind of scratch that itch and maybe save yourself a little bit of money and allow you to finish what is currently in your collection if you're kind of struggling. I know sometimes it can be easy to get bored with a fragrance, but try mixing some of your fragrances together just to give you something new, something fresh, something different. It's a really great way to really use what you have in your collection and maybe enjoy it a little bit more. But if you want to add something just a little bit different, something that you can blend with all those perfumes that you already have, I think that Skin is a great way to do it. So again, a big thanks to Clean Reserve for sending this one out for consideration. I really do appreciate it. I will continue to wear this throughout the coming months, and we'll be using it to blend with some of my other fall perfumes that I recently featured in some of my earlier videos this month. So if you have any questions, definitely leave them in the comments down below. If you have tried Clean Reserve Skin, please let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below as well. Take a look at that description box for the links that I mentioned. I appreciate you being here. Give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.